Hello everybody, Ultra749 here, and welcome back to, for the first time in a while, a new 419 News vid. I have not done one since 2020, and we've got a bit to talk about, especially for what's been happening for the week. Before we do that, I want to get this out of the way and let everyone be aware. Unfortunately, last month, or was it a month before that, I forget. Vic Mignogna here, who looks like this very strapping-looking gentleman here. Looks like he's doing theater. His case was unfortunately, what's the word? Well, the Supreme Court of Texas refused to review his case in hopes of reviving it. So, Fortunately, I don't think he should just continue anymore. That's how serious it is. The system isn't working for him, and unfortunately for that, he'll have to pay the defendants whatever money he owes, and it's unfortunate. However, there is some good news that came out at least 2 days ago, but we'll get to that in a bit. Doomcock, that's what he's called, came out with a new video just today, and well, prepare for some adult content here in some way. Doomcock can get very, please forgive me, it's been a while since I did this. Doomcock can get very profane with his language. So, I should also have you know, oh yeah, Lucasfilm Purge is coming. Kennedy allies will be fired once she leaves Disney, sources say. Let's find out. This is the first I've heard of it. Let's see what Doomcock has to say.
Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you.
Okay.
Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I bring you joyous tidings today from behind the magic curtain. At long last, it appears from multiple sources that Kathleen Kennedy has finally finished at Lucasfilm come June, but as good as this news is, it gets better, folks, because it appears...
Hold on a second. Alright, back to it.
That when Kennedy walks out the door, she'll have plenty of company as the axe finally falls on her loyal cronies, including the idiots in the Lucasfilm story group who have participated in the destruction of Star Wars. I have some very interesting rumors about what's been happening behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, including news of Kathleen Kennedy's latest efforts to hold on to power and avoid being removed from her lofty position, an effort that I'm told has failed utterly. The firing of Susan Arnold following the firing of Bob Chapek has set certain plans into motion, and now finally it appears that Disney is waking up to the extreme damage done to their business model, their franchises, and their perception as a wholesome family company by the public at large. The question is it too late to redeem Disney even with a purge of the woke elements inside Lucasfilm?
Yes.
And how much lower can the stock drop before the mouse keels over?
It's certainly too late, dude. It took Disney decades of great family-friendly entertainment to create the level of public goodwill they enjoyed.
Yeah.
But now in a few short years of exposed woke agendas to insert LGBTQ plus content and indoctrination into children's programming, an attempt that might have worked if only the movies and shows themselves hadn't sucked so badly, Disney has completely tarnished their reputation. And once that happens, it's very hard to erase that negative perception. I mean, look at this blue fairy, dude. This is the face of Disney now.
Just recently, Guillermo del Toro, known for Hellboy, Shape of Water, and... gosh, what else has he done? Oh, that's right, he also worked with Hideo Kojima on Death Stranding. He recently released his own Pinocchio film, and it actually looks a whole lot better than the crap remake Disney released earlier last year. Or was that late last year? I forget. Let's continue.
Agree, Harvey. Trust once betrayed is not easily regained. Parents used to trust Disney to babysit their kids in front of the TV. Parents didn't need to carefully review what their kids were watching on Disney to make sure it wasn't brainwashing them into a particular political mindset. They could just leave Timmy and Susie in front of the TV while they worked. But those days are gone, and with it, public goodwill. Similarly, ending Kathleen Kennedy's reign of terror at Lucasfilm is too little, too late at this point. After all, she managed to all but utterly destroy Star Wars. She killed Willow off in one horrible season.
What?
And she's taken a massive whack at the Indiana Jones pinata, hoping to burst it open and rain down fanboy tears all.
Here's my hot take on Dial of Destiny, which is the name of the 5th Indiana Jones movie. If it's that bad, it is going to make Crystal Skull look like a masterpiece. And I don't hate Crystal Skull. I thought its plot was very weird once the conclusion rolled around. So, let's continue.
All over the party. Only time will reveal how bad Indiana Jones 5 is, though next week I'll have an update on the reshoots that are going on, and there is some cause for optimism that the leaks I reported have forced them to radically change what Kathleen Kennedy wanted to do to Indy, but that's another video for next week. The point I'm making here is Kathleen Kennedy has been a disease inside Lucasfilm for years, a contagion that spread like a malign growth throughout Lucasfilm, snaking from Kennedy to the Lucasfilm Story Group and beyond into every department, making it difficult to excise her without killing the patient. However, at last it appears that Bob Iger is finally ready to strike, and that strike is going to completely change the face of Lucasfilm, according to sources. At this point, I must state that what I'm about to present to you is information provided to me from various sources claiming knowledge of the situation, but since I cannot personally verify this information, I am presenting it as rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt.
Salt away, Doomcock. Though I burn with rage over being beheaded and kept in a bubble of entropy as a trophy in your collection, I despise what Lucasfilm has done to pop culture even more than I loathe you.
Why, Skull of Calderon, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
You're welcome. Don't get used to it. That Kennedy is headed out
Don't
the
get used
door
to it.
seems at this point to be fairly well established, but pray, tell us what you've learned about this so-called Lucasfilm purge that's coming. Is Iger finally growing some cojones? Will the bleeding finally be staunched?
Okay, I'm going to try to pull together a bunch of disparate information from various sources here to paint a picture, and I hope you good people out there in the audience will follow along. According to my Hollywood spies, one of our best sources has provided us with an update that ties into something I was told Wednesday on Pop Culture Breakdown. According to my spies, quote, "Through all of this, our sources maintained that KK was out. Her contract wasn't renewed, it was extended because of Indy 5, unquote. So what the source is saying is, Kennedy has been on very shaky ground since this extension, which was misinterpreted by the public as a renewal. As part of the deal to keep her happy and have her march out the door quietly in an orderly fashion when her time comes, Kennedy was simply allowed to stick around just long enough to get Indy 5 out the door, at which time she would, to coin a phrase, fade out. It would be a low-key transition to get her the hell out of there, shutting the barn door after the horses have all run away and been slaughtered for dog food. But nevertheless, there it is. But even more to the point, getting rid of Kennedy isn't going to be enough to change the toxic culture at Lucasfilm. No, they had to get rid of her woke minions too. Enter Bob Chapek. As my Hollywood spies put it, quote, "According to our source and what he has found out, the main reason Bob Chapek was put in this position as CEO was to get rid of certain players that were referred to as untouchables. Allegedly, the plan was Bob Chapek was supposed to step in and move the paperwork through and start the ball rolling. Afterwards, Bob Iger would swoop in as a savior to rescue Disney, but not undo what Bob Chapek had moved forward. The untouchable people in question would be let go and Bob Chapek takes all the blame, While Bob Iger sits back in interviews saying, "I had no say in this was in motion and I was powerless to stop it. I tried, but I couldn't move fast enough to get my people back in place to make necessary changes, etc., etc., unquote." Now, as I've said all along, Chapek had signaled his and Susan Arnold's desire to shift the company away from politicized stances that alienate the public, and of course, part of that would entail purging the worst political radicals from Disney. That much is established, and that much is consistent with this rumor. Chapek started doing just that. The ball was set in motion. His usefulness was ended from Iger's point of view once that was done, and thus Iger returned to replace Chapek as Disney ran into rough waters, which I think hastened this process, and started facing the inevitable financial crisis arising from years of alienating their audience with these radical political positions they were advocating.
The wages of woke is broke. It's a natural law, like gravity. If the majority of your customers are not woke, and you keep ramming that crap down their throats, eventually they're going to choke and run away as fast as they can. So anyway, what's this about a Lucasfilm purge, Doomcon?
Wednesday, on Pop Culture Breakdown, we were covering the firing of Susan Arnold, another Chapek ally gone as Iger moves forward with his plan to make them the fall guys for the coming purge, and my friend Cameron Pashaw informed me that indeed, the purge is about to be triggered. According to Cameron, he has obtained from a high-level source inside Lucasfilm a detailed list of names of individuals who are going to get the axe as soon as Kennedy is gone.
Woo!
This list is extensive and details in comments exactly why each particular individual has to go. Reportedly, Pablo Hidalgo is on this list, along with other Kennedy allies, loyalists, and dupes.
I've heard of Pablo Hidalgo. He criticized Star Wars Theory when he saw a clip of him getting emotional when Luke appeared in that one episode, actually the season finale of The Mandalorian. Which, by the way, when is Season 3 coming?
To have dragged Lucasfilm into the gutter and caused Disney billions of dollars in IP value. On the other hand, this may well be too little too late, although there is some hope in all of this because Ahsoka has not yet released. So if Kennedy is headed out the door in June, shortly after Indiana 5 drops, Favreau and Filoni will finally be able to pull the trigger and use the Veil of the Force, the world between worlds, to erase the sequel trilogy and make sure that Palpatine died with the destruction of the second Death Star, thereby ensuring that the events of the sequels never happened.
That would be nice.
That is a worthy victory in the war on woke, and may yet save the franchise if they pull that trigger.
But do we really believe Kennedy is gone? She's been dead many times before, after all, and she returns from the dead with a persistence that even surprises me, and I'm a necromancer.
Here's a bit of proof, in my view, that Kennedy is out the door after Indy 5 drops. The recent news that Damon Lindelof is working on a Star Wars movie was, as it turns out from sources, an unauthorized announcement made by Lindelof's people, not officially by Lucasfilm. This is a standard Bad Robot / Kathleen Kennedy tactic to announce phony projects in an effort to jumpstart them and get your name into the news. Start getting buzz around this projected project. There currently is no Lindelof project at Lucasfilm, not one that's been approved and funded at any rate. Some have said this was entirely a leak from Lindelof, but I personally don't believe this, and here's why. Once this film was announced, it was stated that Finn would be featured in the movie along with other sequel trilogy characters, and at that point I caught a whiff of Kennedy's evil plans. She would definitely want to try and further cement her despised sequel trilogy characters in canon to try and prevent Favreau and Filoni from erasing her legacy of abject failure and vandalism once she's gone. This suspicion was confirmed when sources told me that Kennedy had contacted Iger saying, "Hey, I know this Lindelof thing wasn't official and we weren't supposed to announce it, but since it slipped out and it's drummed up interest, why don't we go with it? Why don't we develop it? In fact, maybe I could stick around a little longer to guide Lindelof's Star Wars project?" Basically, Kennedy was using this to ask Iger for another contract extension, just like Indy 5. And reportedly, Iger nicely and politely told her, "No thanks. You'll be heading out the door as planned."
Oh, thank
and thus,
goodness.
If these rumors are true, folks, Kennedy and all her flying monkeys are about to be gone, and good riddance. The only question remaining is, can anything be saved in the wake of her departure? Only Favreau and Filoni can say for sure, but it's looking like Ahsoka is Star Wars' last chance. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Well, there's only hope in Ahsoka now. I wonder when that show is being released. And Rosario Dawson chosen to play Ahsoka. That had to be the best decision ever. She ain't no teen anymore. We know that. So we'll pass this along, and anybody watching this video, pass this along and make sure people see it. Spread the word. It'd be nice if Kathleen Kennedy was gone. Star Wars has taken a turn for the worst ever since she took over. I actually had high hopes when The Force Awakens first released way back in 2015. I thought they were onto something. I thought that they had a story on their hands, but then it completely veered to what I was thinking. I thought they were gonna explore Tython when Han mentioned the first Jedi Temple, and that's where the Jedi came from, Tython. If that's canon. So, let's get on to the next subject, and back to Vic Mignogna real quick. This Twitter user here, Jasmine DBZ King, posted this a few days ago. Vic just gave us the best news. Anime Matsuri Studios has recently presented him with a whole list of shows they just acquired from Japan. Good stuff is in works. Cancel culture can't keep a good man down. Hashtag I stand with Vic. And I'm not going to lie, this is the first good news regarding Vic Mignogna I've heard in a long time. Especially after his case was denied by the Texas State Supreme Court. Everybody is just praising here. I even retweeted it saying, ha, and they said Vic hit rock bottom. Oh, sup, Connor? Yeah. That was Master Spartan over there. I know I gave a small list of titles. I wanted the studio to dub though. To be fair, one of them said I said need a redub. Hang on a second. Let's zoom in case you guys can't see. Alright. I'm praying this will be a banner year for Vic. I think it will be.
Hey,
sounds like
a white basket of clothes I saw over here.
Huh? Oh, hold on a second, guys. However, there is a chance, people, that we may be having our legs pulled. As Ronin689, let's call him that for short, just asked, are you definitely over 9,000 sure? And that's what I'm hoping. In fact, I retweeted one of Jasmine's tweets asking if she can bring up where she found this out. No response thus far. I'm hoping she responds soon. And I just want to spread the word. And of course, with good news about Vic Mignogna, the haters are going to be crawling along, which is definitely what happened here. Ever since the news came out, all of Kick Vic has been losing their mind. Here's this. Hylian Railgun, I follow this guy. He is a very, very outspoken fella. Give Funimation Crunchyroll competition, so proud of him. And by the way, to the VAs at Funimation that believe the accusations, blacklisting and blocking your coworkers just by working with Vic not only makes you look childish, but it also makes the company lose employees. I mean, we've been saying that for a long time. They lost a good one in Vic, says Jasmine, and the more he works himself back into the industry, they will be reminded of that fact. And of course, the haters have to jump in and ruin the fun. Yawn emoji. Still think Anime Matsuri Studios is going to go anywhere. The 2 shorts still hasn't been released yet. Hey, I can wait all year until the shorts come out. I'm not really concerned how long it'll take. Oh, and here's more screenshots. Oh, these are ones I just read. You want to make fun... Oh, it's Trent Michaels. Follow this guy, by the way. He's neutral to the whole thing. However, he has criticized Kick Vic with...
There's still a bag of popcorn from there.
Fine. Stealing from my stash. It's right here. It's in a plastic bag. You're ruining the video!
What? Can't watch a video without popcorn.
Okay. You all want to make Funimation and Crunchyroll pay for what they and their VAs did to Vic. Make the shows AM Studios put out the most popular in the game. Give them legit competition. It's in your hands. I agree. If they want to make a difference, they gotta publish the stuff. Problem is, they gotta find who to publish it through. That's the challenging part. And yeah, here's this. How much does Vic even own now? You mean how much does Vic even owe now? Guys. Reminder that Jeff Lee, the owner of Anime Matsuri, is a sexual degenerate. Please watch the Turkey Tom video. I'll watch this in my own spare time. Let's switch that. Put that later. I'll look at that later in my own time. As far as I know, nothing's been shown from Anime Matsuri's alleged anime dubbing studio after about half a year, and yet VIX fans are hyping this up, just like when they fell for a fraud set by that scam artist from Kentucky. What scam artist? They really can't take a hint. Keep in mind, folks, I was out of the loop from Twitter for half the year last year for mental health reasons, and what you're looking at here is a new account. I don't exactly know why it didn't let me put down Ultra Saiyan 409 version 2, but whatever. I just rolled with it. Plus, even if they were released, aren't they just 2 obscure short films for kids? I'm cackling at Vic fans forcing themselves to sit through that just to simp for Vic. But then I guess you know what? I'm gonna have to work on that. Hell, Jasmine is lying about that. Vic never said he had a list. All he said was that he was doing some crap in February, and that was it. They are literally huffing several levels of copium. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Our legs could be pulled here. To the I Stand With Vic movement, we cannot believe this blindly. We have to approach this carefully, and we can't believe everything. This could be a trick. This could just make us look like a bunch of punks, a bunch of idiots. So I'm 50-50 on this. Oh, this guy, I've seen him before. LOL, Kathleen is still thinking that Vic is going to create competition. Well, you never know. How did any of those places lose employees? I get that he's grasping at straws, but come on, he ain't grasping at straws. Kathleen seems to have a good head on his shoulders. All that he'll accomplish. I too look forward to all of that nothing. Oh, you guys have such insults. That's cute. So we're thinking they got hentai or just bottom of the barrel stuff. Not even the most degenerate have touched. Not like hentai had great dubs. No, it didn't. At least ones where you can find some of the New York cast. NY or New York? I'm assuming they're talking about New York. You know. This does sound like good news, but we're gonna have to wait and see if it's true. We need confirmation from Vic himself. No disrespect to Jasmine here, but we need to hear it from the man himself that this is happening. I, for one, hope that it is happening. Let's look at more negative tweets before we go on. Attention morons, and I've seen this account before, and they're a Chainsaw Man fan. He is. Here we go. Attention morons that think that Anime Matsuri Studios is going to succeed because they're anti-woke. Have you seen the pop culture scene as of late? Mr. at I Stand With Vic Losers. Have you seen the pop culture scene? It has failed because of woke ideology. You people either live under a rock or you're that stupid than I thought. Spoiler alert, it's not going to work out. See below. Well, that's because nobody likes Ben Shapiro. Because he's a smart aleck. Who would they even distribute through? That's what I'm wondering. CR or Crunchyroll. That's laughable. High Dive, they have bigger problems right now. What's High Dive? I'm going to have to look that up. That leaves the big streaming services who wouldn't even think about it. I don't think Netflix would mind. Do they even have the money to license big IPs? They're a con! It's an anime con! Hello! They do have the money. Every year, their job is to promote anime stuff and everything Japanese culture. Of course they're going to have the money for it. The stupidity of these people. Most of these guys only like flavor of the month waifu bait like Magical Senpai and Uzaki-chan, so I'm sure they'd be happy if that was all AM put out. I don't know what Magical Senpai is, and I've heard of Uzaki-chan, but I've never been interested. And no, it's not because Monica's in it, I just don't have an interest. I'm very picky with my anime. Oh, this is from 2021. We're looking for recent stuff. I'm surprised Anime Matsuri Studios hasn't gone down the Star Citizen route and kept asking fans for money to fund them. Okay, what the heck is wrong with that? If they need to ask people to donate money to them, why is that such a sin? If you were trying to start something like this, you'd do the same. Imagine thinking Anime Matsuri Studios can compete with Crunchyroll when they got this, among other shows, in their arsenal. Well, these people are in denial. They really do not think that Vic and the gang will really rise above the occasion. Like I said, though, we are going to have to wait for word from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Vic Mignogna, until we can confirm that this is actually happening, this is for real. We need to be prepared, though. Our legs are probably being pulled. I cannot reiterate that enough. I am considering the possibilities here. Wants to tell him it won't work. Oh, this is from a while back, and from this schmuck. Well, I'm getting. Oh, and people think. Oh, I saw this movie with my brother, and people think Anime Matsuri Studios has a shot at dethroning Crunchyroll. Moving on. I can't deal with this. I can only handle so much stupidity from these people. Anywho, let's get to another part of the news today. Nick Rekieta has been sued. Yes, the Nick Rekieta, this guy that we love so much.
Avoid a GoFundMe on it. But tomorrow I wire out the retainer. I told my attorney today. I said, you realize I'm going to cover this publicly, right? He said, I'd have it no other way. He knows. Today retained officially Mark Randazza and the Randazza Legal Group.
What I want to know is why he's being sued. And this was brought to everybody's attention by this user named Catherine Tucson. And I've ran into her before on my previous account. And not only that, her tweets come off to me as very snobby. But what would I expect from a KV member? And I'm pretty sure she said to me once that she's not a member of KV, but you know what? I don't believe it, so... Oh, crap. Let's check out this this form she submitted here. I may need to zoom in a little bit if you guys can't read it. Okay. State of Minnesota, District Court, County of Kandiyohi. Kandiyohi. That sounds like a Native American name. 8th Judicial District. Steve Quest, plaintiff, versus Nicholas Rekieta and Rekieta Law, LLC. And the summons. Defendants. You are being sued. The plaintiff has started a lawsuit against you. The plaintiff's complaint against you is attached to this summons. Do not throw these papers away. These are official papers that affect your rights. You must respond to this lawsuit even though it may not be filed with the court and there may be no court file number on this summons. 1. You must reply within 20 days to protect your rights. You must give or mail to the person who signed this summons a written response and an answer within 20 days of the date on which you received this summons. You must send a copy of your answer to the person. Okay, so it's basically we're looking at the basics here. You will lose your case if you do not send a written response to the complaint to the person who signed this summons. Okay, well, by what we just saw a minute or two ago, Nick pretty much responded. So, let's continue. What is he being sued for? Plaintiff complains of defendants in each of them, and for cause thereof, states and alleges parties. Part 1. I don't know. Oh, parties 1. Okay. Please forgive me, I don't come across this stuff very often. Defendant Nicholas Rekieta resides in the city of Spicer, County of Kandiyohi, State of Minnesota. He is an attorney licensed in the state of Minnesota and owner of a law firm called Rekieta Law, LLC, a limited liability company duly registered pursuant to Minnesota Statute 322C, also named as defendant. Defendants maintain an office presence in the city of Owatonna, County of Steele, State of Minnesota, and also in the city of Spicer, County of Kandiyohi, and State of Minnesota. At all times relevant, defendant Nicholas Rekieta has resided in County of Kandiyohi, State of Minnesota. At all times relevant, and in addition to practicing law, defendant Nicholas Rekieta, on behalf of defendant Rekieta Law, LLC, has regularly produced videos posted on the internet where he discusses legal matters as well as matters unrelated to his law practice. Video production, as described herein, produces income for defendants. Well, what do you expect him to do? Does he not have a right to talk about the legal world and matters that don't really apply to him? It's called commentary. As if that's all of a sudden illegal. Alright, the plaintiff, Steve Quest, is an entertainer, artist, and video producer who resides in the state of Colorado. I'm next door. Historically, Steve Quest used the name Montography as a trade name for the services he offered and videos he creates. At all times relevant, Steve Quest also uses the name Montograph and Monty, derived from the name Montography, as well as October Rains, a trade names, and later on as online screen names for video and computer productions. Facts. This sounds like the important part. Great, I got a popcorn seed stuck in the back. At all times relevant, defendant Nicholas Rekieta created informative videos which he published using the name of defendant Rekieta Law, LLC. In addition to offering legal advice and analysis, defendant Nicholas Rekieta engages in hyperbole and comedy. And don't we love it? Upon information and belief, defendant Nicholas Rekieta writes, directs, produces, and appears in all such videos published using the name of defendant Rekieta Law, LLC. Defendant Nicholas Rekieta will also appear on shows hosted by others as a guest. All of these shows' productions are designed primarily for electronic publication via the internet. Some are recorded for later publications, and some are live streamed, but all work is done for profit as they are accompanied by online advertising. And, well, we kind of knew that. Defendant Nicholas Rekieta will often appear with guests who make appearances from other physical locations, but all appear on a single screen. Some of the discussions are characterized as law-splaining, where legal topics and lawsuits are explained while defendant Nicholas Rekieta drinks Scotch whiskey. At all times relevant, defendant Rekieta Law LLC is represented within these videos and appears in the form of a stylized logo. Oh, I already read that. Defendants publish and post these videos and productions on YouTube, Rumble, and other hosting services. Okay, I already read that. Defendants have engaged in false statements concerning plaintiff and published them, of which plaintiff and others have become aware. Plaintiff has resided in a number of states of the Union, including Colorado and Illinois. Despite not being a Minnesota resident, plaintiff has seen and heard these false statements from observing, watching, and listening to the videos published by defendants on the internet, where defendants know these videos and live streams can be seen anywhere in the world by anyone with computer access. Defendant Nicholas Rekieta has made statements about plaintiff, knowing those statements were false. I doubt that. Knowing Nick Rekieta, he never lies about anything. He does what he says. He does not exaggerate. Okay. And knowing that by making those false statements about plaintiff, he would cause plaintiff harm. I haven't been caught up on Nick's streams as of late, to be brutally honest, but whoever the Steve Queen guy is, he sounds like someone Nick really doesn't like. Ugh. Oh, crap. Popcorn seed shell. At all times, defendant Nicholas Rekieta made false statements about plaintiff. He did so knowing those false statements would be published, defamatory, slanderous, libelous, and would cause plaintiff harm to his good name, credit, and reputation. There are many such instances to reference, but 3 specific instances are described in paragraphs 6, 7, and 8 below. We're going to be here a while, folks. I don't exactly know how long this whole thing is. Let's see. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to be caught up on what's been happening, what drama's been happening. Shoot. Okay. On October 6, 2022, defendant Nicholas Rekieta was a guest on a live stream program called Megan Fox Investigates for an interview about why defendant Nick Rekieta was banned from YouTube. Yeah, he was taken off the air for some time. I can only imagine who it was that called for his removal. During this live stream, defendant Nicholas Rekieta made various false statements of a sexual nature about plaintiff. If they're calling this a false statement, then this sounds like something Nick was being honest about. If we heard it from Nick, that means we won't hear it from anyone else. On October 13th, 2022, defendants published a video in which another lawyer named Andrew Diadesky, also known as Legal Mindset, appeared as a guest. I've heard of this guy. During this published video, defendant Nick Rekieta accused plaintiff of disgusting crimes against children, this stuff, then stated plaintiff should probably be shot in the effing head. On October 18th, 2022, defendants published a video with several guests who were named as lawyers: Stephen Gosney, Sean Martin, and Kurt Muller, serving as a panel, where a meme of guns, AK-47s, pointed at plaintiff's head, accompanied by defendant Nick Rekieta making false statements about plaintiff. See, I doubt these are false statements if it's coming from Nick Rekieta. I could be wrong. I will humbly say I could be wrong. Count 1, defamation and defamation per se. Plaintiff realleges each and every claim, allegation, and paragraph herein and further complaints. Defendants through managers, administrations, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it looks like we're going through basics again. A reasonable person under similar circumstances who received these defamatory publications would undoubtedly construe the false statements by defendant Nicholas Rekieta as repeatedly inputting... It's late. Criminal conduct involving moral turpitude upon plaintiff. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's malicious and defamatory statements with respect to plaintiff personally, plaintiff's employment, business, and profession have suffered damage. His reputation, his profession, and in the community have suffered, and the plaintiff continues suffering loss of standing and opportunity for growth. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's mean-spirited, immoral, and illegal actions, how are they illegal? If he's exposing someone, how is it illegal? Now, I know nothing about the Steve Quest guy. Did I get his name wrong? Did I get the name right? Steve Quest, that's it. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Illegal actions, indeed, slander, libel, and false statements. Plaintiff has suffered from distress, humiliation, embarrassment, loss of reputation, loss of enjoyment of life, lost income, wages, money, and plaintiff has incurred attorney fees and expenses and other serious damages. I'm going to have to look up the Steve Quest guy later. He sounds like a YouTuber. Thankfully, there's a YouTube wiki. I'm going to have to look it up. Hang on. Let's do that in just a bit. Wikitubia, where are you? Here we go. We'll look at that later. And as a direct and proximate result of defendant's mean-spirited, immoral... Oh, hang on, we already read that. Count 2. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Plaintiff realleges each and every claim, allegation, and paragraph herein, and further complaints. As a direct and proximate result of defendants' continuing wrongful conduct, baseless accusations, and false statements, defendants have caused plaintiff to suffer severe emotional distress and trauma that no reasonable person could be expected to endure. The course of defendants' wrongful conduct was so extreme and outrageous that it goes beyond all possible bounds of decency and is utterly intolerable in a civilized society and within the state of Minnesota. Really? We live in a civilized society? Have you seen the world as of late? It's fallen apart. Defendants, by their extreme and outrageous conduct, complained of herein, intentionally causing plaintiff to suffer severe emotional distress. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's illegal actions, words, and deeds, the plaintiff has suffered from distress, humiliation, embarrassment, loss of reputation, loss of enjoyment of life. Didn't we already read this? Lost income and has incurred attorney fees and expenses and suffered other serious damages. I'm pretty sure we already read that. Oh. Count 2. Realleges each and every claim, allegation, and paragraph herein, and further complaints. Mean-spirited, words and deeds. The defendants engaged in a direct invasion of the plaintiff's rights by their slander, libel, and other like willful, wanton, or malicious conduct, which caused plaintiff to reasonably fear for his life. Okay, so it's basically repeating what I just read. Wherefore, plaintiff specifically prays that the practices of defendants complained of herein be adjudged, decreed, and declared in violation of the rights secured by plaintiff by the laws of the state of Minnesota. That defendants be required to make plaintiff whole, and that a permanent prohibitory injunction be issued prohibiting defendants from engaging in the practices complained of herein. That plaintiff be awarded compensatory damages in an amount to be established at trial, that judgment be entered against the defendants in a sum in excess of $50,000 together with his costs, interest, and disbursements and attorney fees, that the court grant such other and further relief as it deems fair and equitable. Plaintiff demands trial by jury as to all issues of fact. Dated December 5th, 2022, so that was last month. Signed by Schneider and Madsen PC, David W. Schneider. Okay. Well, ain't that something? If he called out someone for being a criminal, then I don't blame him. But first, let's look him up. Steve Quest. Steve Quest. Okay, let's check out the document again. Does he go by a YouTuber name? Okay. Montography. Or Montagraphy. Montagraphy, let's click that. No, nothing. Let's look him up in here. I recommend Brave Privacy Browser, guys, if you don't want Big Brother spying on you. Alright. Montagraphy. Okay. User. Okay, so I cannot find anything about this guy. Well, I don't know anything about this guy, and I can't exactly give my own personal opinion, but if we heard it from Nick, we wouldn't hear it from anyone else. The complaint is hot garbage. Oh, she admits that, to be clear, but Minnesota has no anti-slap to speak of, and apparently has also very generous pleading standards. So I guess this guy maybe has a chance of dragging Nick into discovery. Well, Miss Tucson, we'll find out. And his haters are chiming in. Well, this suit is ridiculous. Anyway, I just had an amusing exchange with my wife. Me, Nick, is getting sued for defamation. Wife, was he being defamatory? Nick is always being defamatory, which means he's never being defamatory. Is that kind of really how that works? Kinda. And well, he's right though. He's never defamatory. Everything he says comes from him, and you wouldn't hear from anyone else. I will reiterate. Wait, what? That's the whole complaint? Is that what notice pleading looks like in the wild? What? Wow, this suit is straight up garbage. Shame. Wasn't kidding. It's a slap and a half. That's funny. Man, I can't wait to see what Nick said to warrant this. And then disappointment. Minnesota is apparently real blasé about specificity. So maybe they'll get him into discovery before it gets tossed. Both parties do need to be heard. I agree on that. My gods, this is still going on. I only worship one god, so what do you mean by gods? LMAO, quasi-law community trying desperately to smear people that are doing better than them because their parents didn't love them. That is a very bland and basic complaint. No direct quotes, no showing any actual form of damage as a result of said quotes. Can't stand Nick, but on that complaint alone, he should be fine. Wow, I thought these people were haters, but yeah, they analyzed it. They don't think that anything will be that serious. Where's the part where he says that what Nick said about him? You'll have to click on that, bub. He's being sued by a guy named Steve Quest. Sounds like Johnny's cousin who has to come in to replace him in Season 4 when Johnny got all those DUIs. He does sound like a relative of that character. So could the last action, pointing out a bunch of gun pictures at the plaintiff, amount to stochastic terrorism? And how would someone plead that? Stochastic? I never heard of that word. Good thing I got the dictionary app. Stochastic. Random. Specifically involving a random variable, in second definition, involving chance or probability. I don't know. You will lose your case if you do not send a written response to the complaint to the person who signed this summons. If you do not... Okay, we already read that. This is a thing they can legally do. This feels like a really bad way to do things. I am going to point out something. These sound like very contradictory. It seems like one side can't do this while the other can. Okay. The first part seems generous. In addition to offering legal advice and analysis, Nick Rekieta engages in hyperbole and comedy. I agree. It seems very generous. Okay. I wonder what this guy said. You must be heartbroken that he hired someone else. What exactly did he say? Oh, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I love the text on their summons. Okay. So we got all that down. So Nick is getting sued. We're looking at the quote tweets. And it is bogus, but the person did it in a state with no slap suit laws. Bro is about to get dragged through the mud, and it will be fun to watch. Are we talking about Nick or the other guy suing? Internet ambulance chaser is getting sued. Only 2 weeks into the new year, and I Stand With Vic already suffers a massive L. How does this affect us, you brain-dead moron? How does this affect us? The YouTube lawyer who raised $500,000 war chest to fund Vic Mignogna's frivolous lawsuit has himself been hit by a frivolous lawsuit. What is this implying here? This gif here. Correction. At least he'll be in a courthouse and have to appear before a judge on the other side of the bench once in his life. I'll take that as a win. My, karma is a funny thing. I don't exactly believe in karma. Clearly I missed this. The blackface lawyer is getting sued. Bruh. Oh, and it's this idiot. Underdog BT. And he is anti-SJW. Clearly he doesn't live under a rock. He wears his rear as a hat. T. Greg Doucette. Oh, this dude. He's a douche. Screech will finally win a LOL suit. When you say the word LOL suit, it's better if you let Nick say it. It's cringe when it comes from a fellow like you. Cateration. Nick Rekieta is being sued for defamation, and he didn't hire Ty Beard to represent him. Did he not think Ty would do a good job? Pretends to be shocked. Well, he has to hire a lawyer from the freaking state he's in. Weren't you reading? Can't speak tonight. And well, it's getting late. Actually, it is late. Almost midnight. So that seems about it. And we got sad news. And it's unfortunate. This was a few days ago. Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's only child, dies at 54. It is with a heavy heart that I must share the devastating news that my beautiful daughter, Lisa Marie, has left us, Priscilla Presley said. And I thought that was sad. I had heard she'd been taken to the hospital, but I only found out when I got home that she died. Los Angeles, Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of rock icon Elvis Presley, died Thursday in Southern California, her mother said. She was 54. Oh, so that was technically yesterday. Soon to be 2 days ago. It is with a heavy heart that I must share this devastating news. Okay, we already read that. Said in a statement, she was the most passionate, strong, and loving woman I have ever known. Presley is set to be interred at Graceland, next to her late son, Benjamin Keough, who died in 2020. How'd he die? A representative of her daughter, actor Riley Keough, told NBC News on Friday. Lisa Marie's final resting place will be at Graceland, next to her beloved son Ben, the rep said. Lisa Marie's Presley father, Elvis, is also buried at Graceland, the rock icon's famed Memphis mansion and shrine. Priscilla Presley and the Presley family are shocked and devastated by the tragic death of their beloved Lisa Marie, according to a statement by Graceland. They are profoundly grateful for the support, love, and prayers of everyone and ask for privacy during this very difficult time. Privacy they will be given. While foul play is not suspected, the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner coroner has taken over the investigation. Law enforcement sources said the coroner was assigned Presley's case, perhaps because of her relatively young age or the circumstances of her death. A final coroner's report on Presley's death, which will lean heavily on results from toxicology tests, is expected to take 6 to 8 weeks to completion, so a month and a half. Hours before the announcement of Lisa Marie's passing, Priscilla Presley said that her daughter had been rushed to the hospital. That's what I heard too. And basically you get the idea. Butler said in a statement his heart is completely shattered for Presley's children and mother. Butler as in Austin Butler? Oh. Yeah. Oh, he won the Golden Globe for playing Elvis? Oh, that's neat. I have not seen that movie yet. So, that's it for today. By tomorrow, this will have been premiered, and I'll have it edited out a few things. So, with that said, oh, by the way, please like, share, please like, subscribe, comment what you thought, and share this with everyone you know. Please, I could really use your help in reaching 100 subs so that I can make the special Scorn playthrough. I would really appreciate it if people would spread the word and share this. And as always, this is Ultra 749 saying rock on, God bless, and good night.